Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brainwa Brain. Many older games have gotten new life these days. One of the latest games to do so is Alex Kidd in Miracle World. The new DX version came out last week. I just started playing it and thought I would share some of the features of the game as well as share my first impressions. I played the original decades ago, so I'm looking forward to going back and revisiting this classic that includes new features and enhancements. But before we begin, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. That is the best way to let me know you are enjoying the content on this channel. So let's get started. So first of all, when I opened up the package, I was greeted with a surprise. There is a manual, a little keychain, and the cover art is reversible. Now, I didn't do an unboxing video of this because it advertises as standard version, so I wasn't expecting anything special. But as you go through the manual here, it goes through some descriptions of characters and places in the game, and each column here is a different language, so you have English first, and then it goes through other languages as you go to the right. So I've got some zoom-ins here of the English part, so if you want to look through the manual and read it, you're welcome to do so. Just pause the video here and you should be able to read the English portions just fine. But I really do like seeing a manual in a game that you really don't get to see much anymore. It gives it more of an authentic feel. And having this reverse cover art is nice too. This is a replica of the Master System cartridge case. So that's a nice touch if you want to reverse that and get sort of a nostalgic feel with it. So when you start the game up, you've got your menu here to start a new game. Your classic and boss rush modes are locked out until you complete the game. We'll go over that later. In the options here, you can adjust the item that you get whenever you complete each level. And then you can also adjust the languages here, which there's a whole bunch of different languages to choose from. And this was the English version that I bought, the American version, so I would think all of them are kind of standardized. You can adjust the volume, you can turn vibration on and off, and then you can turn on infinite lives. This is pretty much a must if you're going to play to finish this game. You can also display the controller button configuration. It's pretty standard. You've got jump and then you've got the attack. You've got to use item and confirm. The ZR button is what you use to switch the graphic modes, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. So the game starts with a cool little cinematic. I'm not going to play the whole thing here, but just wanted to let you know this is a nice addition to the game. It goes through a slight little story plot, and then you move on into the gameplay. It's not too long, but a nice addition. So here's a look at the gameplay. If you're not familiar with this game, it's a platformer. You go through the game and you can only attack what's in front of you with your fist. You can't jump on any enemies or hit any blocks from underneath like Mario. So you bash those gold star blocks to get money. And then here we'll switch over into the classic mode. It's very quick, has the graphics of the original Sega Master System version, and then we switch right back. Just only a slight pause there, it doesn't really take up a whole lot of time. Now when you die, you respawn usually pretty close to where you just died, only maybe a screen or two from where you were, so that's really helpful in challenging spots. You should only have to get through them just one time. And here's a quick look at one of the little bosses in the game. This is a fairly easy one to complete here, and once you complete this boss you move on to the next world. And between each world you have this little transition that comes up with a map kind of showing you your progress through the world, which is cool. Here's a look at another boss. This one you've got to hit him in the head whenever he lifts his sword up. So I used one of the items that's on the X menu there in the upper right hand corner. You can use L and R to switch through them if you've got multiple items, but this one was allowing me to shoot a rock or whatever it is at him, which made it a little simpler. There are also key items in the game that you can see here from the pause menu. I'm going to go through finding one of those here. This is a section where you see this little star circle icon down there, and you can get to it, but then you have to keep going forward in order for the path to open up. So that's kind of a little secret in the game there that you think, well, I can't go down there, but you can. Just keep going forward. And what this item does is it lets you see what the opponent's doing in the little rock, paper, scissors game right before a boss encounter on certain bosses. So we're going to look at one of those here, and as you see now, there's a little bubble above his head that shows the rock, paper, scissors icons changing until it finally settles on one. So just kind of wait to the last second and switch yours to be one that will beat that, and it makes this game much easier instead of just random. Now, towards the end of the game, which I believe was actually the very end of the game in the original version, you get this little puzzle that you have to solve. And I'm putting this in here because it took me a really long time to figure this out. And what you have to do is go into your items menu and choose the item of the tablet, and it'll be printed on there what order you need to step on these little icons in the floor. Now the order for me started in the upper right hand corner and worked down. So you do one column, then move to the center column, and then to the left column. And that was the order I had to do them in. This apparently is random. So yours will be different than mine, mine's different from yours, and each time you play it'll be different. Make sure you go in there and get this figured out before you spend a long time trying to figure out the correct order by just randomly jumping on them like I did. I'm going to finish out the video with what my thoughts are on the game. And while I'm talking, I'm going to play some footage from the game that I captured on various levels to get you an idea of what the game is like and how it looks. First of all, this is a very fun game, but it's also a very brutal game. The hitbox on your character is a little wider than I'm used to, say with like a Mario game, so you may think you have clearance to not hit an enemy, and you do. But that just takes a little bit of adjusting to get used to, and after a while it started to become a little more smooth. Also, when I played the game, I hit ZR by accident multiple times, especially when I would get frustrated and dying. I would end up hitting ZR on my leg and switch mode into the classic graphic mode. But that's not too big of a deal because it does move back and forth pretty quickly. The soundtrack on this is really good. I enjoy the remade sounds, and of course when you switch it back to the classic mode, it has the original sounding music. I didn't put that in the gameplay here because YouTube a lot of times flags music, so I didn't want to take a chance with that. Needless to say, the soundtrack is excellent. The game took me about 2 hours to complete, so while that's pretty short, it does have a lot of replay value. Those key items that I pointed out, you can keep going back through the game and finding them. There seems to be a whole lot of them that affect the gameplay, and then some of them that are just there to collect, like there was a Sega Master System. I don't think it really does anything, but it was something I earned. I don't even really remember where I earned it. Something like that does add replay value to the game. That being said, unless you're just a huge fan of this game, you may want to wait for it to get marked down. $40 is a little high for what's about a 2-hour experience if you're just wanting to play through it one time. If you're a true fan, I would definitely grab this. The fact that it included the bonus manual and the keychain and the reversible art, which was something that I was not expecting at all, makes this definitely a collector's item for me personally. I don't know if it'll be worth anything, probably not, but it's still something nice to have. So let me know what you think in the comments. Have you played the game? Did you think it was worth the $40, or is this something you'll probably wait on to buy when it gets discounted? I want to thank you for watching, and be good.